Hello guys, Robbat1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, along with Charmander in the background, as always, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, we're going to be doing the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Looking at a new archetype called the Magikeys, which I'm guessing is a Sora Kingdom Hearts ripoff. Like, it's Sora with a gun, I guess, and yeah, we're going to be looking at this archetype today. We're going to be reading the effects, we're going to be going over the cards, see how good this archetype is, and just in general discuss it like we do normally on the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! And sorry if you do hear any banging in the background. It seems my neighbor's having work done, and I don't really have a lot of time to make this video at any other point. So we're going to be making this video now, because I've got to go back to work later, because I'm back at work again. So anyway guys, without further ado, let's actually begin by looking at the new Magikeys archetype. So let's go ahead down, and their main monster is a normal monster? Interesting. I'm curious what its text is. First of all, it's a 1919 warrior type normal monster, so I guess I'm going to be using cards like Unexpected Die in this deck. And let's just read its flavor text. Every person is brimming with potential, to go or to stop, to close or to open, depends on yourself. There are many doors in this dazzling world. What opens them is a magical key. 2 keys and 1 door, 2 wills and 1 form. If the door is opened, the world shall be connected and an enormous power shall reveal itself. So, he used 2 keys on himself and he's now got powers. Cool. I'm wondering where this is going, and we're definitely not getting that flavor text in the TCG because they've just kind of like removed flavor text now from normal monsters. But that's a ritual monster, and it has a Gatling gun. I'm liking this archetype. Okay, so it's first of all, he was called Skyblaster Clavis. I should have said his name, but I just skipped over it because I just saw a normal monster. But Magikey, Blaster, Batos Buster, and it's the same person, and it is a level 4 Dark Machine Ritual Tuner effect. It's a ritual monster? Alright. 40,000 attack, 2200 defense. You ritual summon this card with Magikey Mefteeth. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add 1 Magikey card from your deck to your hand. Okay, so ritual summoning it using the ritual spell that it says here. Go ahead and tribute this, I'm assuming, to summon this, then you just get a free search. So, interesting. It's a neutral, so at least you're not going neg, which is nice. Its second effect is, though, once per turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, negate the opponent's monster's effects until the end of this turn. Then draw cards equal to the number of cards you placed. So, your opponent when an attack is declared involving this card, so even if this card attacks an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, so if you've got a dark, if this is going up against a dark, or essentially because dark because you've got this in the graveyard due to it being a dark, then you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck and negate the opponent's monster's effect, and then you just draw the same number of cards you placed on the bottom of your deck. So, interesting effect, I'll give it that. Just having the ability to like get rid of bad cards in your hand, put them on the bottom of your deck, and then draw the same amount of number of cards while also getting a negate is kind of interesting. The problem is here mainly is that you have to be able to battle, so you have to go in your battle phase and then turn in the main phase 2, you've got to start making different plays. But interesting card, I'll give it that. Second one, and that is a giant ass cannon. Okay, it looks like a crocodile. Interesting. So Magikey Cannon Garvest, level 8 Earth Machine Ritual Effect Monster, 2000 attack, 2000 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Magikey Mefteeth. You can only use the second and third effect of this card once per turn. It gives 300 attack for each monster attribute in your graveyard. So each monster attribute, so if you have 6 different attributes in your graveyard, this will gain a lot more attack. It'll gain what, 2400? No, it'll gain 1800. What am I saying? Maths. But its second effect is, when your opponent activates the effect of a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard, and you control this ritual summon card, using monsters with 2 or more attributes. And this ritual summoned using 2 or more attributes. So you have to use, to gain this effect, you need to use 2 monsters with different attributes, or 2 or more monsters with different attributes to be able to gain this effect. Quick effect, you can negate the activation if you do destroy that card. So, first of all, you have to have monsters with the same attribute as your opponent in your graveyard to be able to use this effect. Second, it needs to be summoned with 2 different attributed monsters to be actually able to gain the effect as well. And you just get 1 negate out of that. I mean, okay, it's cool, but there's a lot of restrictions there to gain that 1 negate, which isn't hard because it's a ritual monster and all you need to do is use a earth and a fire or something along those lines, but And its third effect is, if this ritual summon card is sent to graveyard, you can have 1 Magikey monster from your deck to your hand. Alright, so if you do summon it and then link it away, at least you do get a search. So, not bad, it's just, I'm a little... just a lot of restrictions, I feel. Just a lot. And now I'm seeing a fusion monster. What? Okay, Magikeys summon beast Anceliabulus, I probably butchered that name. Level 4 Dark Beast Fusion Tuner effect monster. Okay, there's a lot of synchros, there's a lot of tuners in this deck, and all the level 4s seem to be a tuner. Is this a tuner as well? I didn't really check. No, it's not a tuner. Okay. But what does it do? So it takes 1 Magikey monster plus 1 non-token normal monster. If this card is fusion summoned, you can have 1 Magikey Metateeth from your graveyard to your hand. So if this card is ritual summoned, if this card is fusion summoned, you get to go ahead and add the Math Teeth back to your hand, which is the ritual spell, I'm believing. Second effect, once per turn, you can target 1 opponent's attack position monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard. Change it to defense position, and if you do, it loses 1000 defense. So for this effect, you just have to have the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey in your graveyard, and then you just could say, go to defense mode, and it loses 1000 defense. It's alright, it gets over things, but what's its final effect? Banish any monster destroyed by battle of this card. Okay, that just exists. And now he's riding a dragon! The normal monster is riding a dragon! Okay, Magikey summon dragon Andrebimus, I think that's how you pronounce that, I don't know. It's a level 8 Wind Dragon Fusion Effect monster. I'm just starting to think that I want to play this with stuff like Metaphys if I need stuff in the graveyard, not Metaphys, with Dogmatica if I need stuff in the graveyard, to be completely honest, but continuing on though. So level 8 Winged Dragon Fusion Effect monster, 2800 attack, 2000 defense, 1 Magikey Effect monster, plus 1 non-token normal monster. When fusion summoned, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. Pretty good. This stops your opponent from using like Torrential Tribute, Compulse on the summon of the card, so nice. Once per turn, you can target 1 normal monster or 1 Magikey monster in your graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same attribute. Okay, I get 3 destruction, not bad. Interesting. Third effect, once per turn, if an opponent's monsters with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by battle or card effect and you control this card, fusion summoned using monsters with 2 or more attributes as material, you can draw 1 card. So, as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by battle or card effect and you control this feat. So to use this card's third effect, not only do you need to use 2 different attributes again, just like the Canon Ritual monster up here, so I feel like that's going to be a staple for the archetype, but you have to destroy a card by battle or card effect, and all you get out of that is a single draw. Like, don't get me wrong, a draw isn't a bad thing, it's actually pretty decent to get a free draw out of something, but it's just the amount of setup, really, that really just confuses me, because to use this card's effect, you need to have the same attribute in your graveyard, which is nice because it doesn't have the effect on this part of the card, which is the effects that you want to use, unlike the top card up here, the Ritual monster, that the negate, you have to have so many different things. You have to have a monster with the same attribute in the graveyard, you also have to have 2 monsters that were used to summon this with different attributes. It's really, really odd, but I feel like it's got some potential. It's definitely interesting, especially seeing as its main monster is a normal monster and then it just ritual summons. But nonetheless, I am kind of curious what's going on here. Now let's continue on. That's a spell card. Where's my synchro monsters? this isn't a synchro monster. You're telling me you gave the deck 2 tuners in the form of a ritual and a fusion monster, but you didn't give the deck an actual synchro monster. Okay, Konami. Okay. Magikey Math Teeth. So this is obviously... Wait, this isn't a ritual spell. Fusion summon 1 Magikey fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, or ritual summon 1 Magikey ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total level equal or exceed the level of ritual monster. It's not a ritual spell, so you can't search it with stuff like Manju. Oh, okay. I'm instantly annoyed. Because one of the things that I instantly thought we could do with this is, you know, be able to ritual summon with a ritual spell that we could search. But it's also a fusion spell. So, like, don't get me wrong, it being a fusion spell and a ritual spell in one card is nice, because it gives you the ability to fusion and ritual without having to play additional cards. But I really was hoping this was a ritual spell, because then you could just normal summon Manju and then ritual summon the ritual level 4, and then go from there, and then you just get pluses and you get to go into all these other plays, and it's just like, it's a bit annoying. But what's its second effect? If you control a normal monster, you can also send 1 normal monster from your deck to the graveyard as fusion material, or 1 as one of the monsters equipped required for the ritual summon. So that's pretty good, because if you're using a normal monster that you've normal summoned, then you can go ahead and use this, instantly ritual summon one of the level 8s, or fusion summon one of the fusion monsters with a lot of ease. So that's really good. It's basically a Shadow Fusion and an advanced ritual summon, I think the spell was called. I'll put it on the screen. But, like, this card, it not being a ritual spell just really annoys me, but I get why it's not a ritual spell. And these are obviously the 2 keys that are mentioned. Like, you got the crossbow in the background, and then you got his gun here, which is just, this is the keys. These are the keys that make him great and powerful, or unlock his abilities. But I'm just a bit salty that it's not a ritual spell. But anyway, continuing on, we got a ritual spell here, which is Magikey Unsealing. Field spell, you can only activate 1 card of this name per turn. You can only use the third effect once per turn. First effect, when this card resolves, you can add 1 Magikey monster from your deck to your hand. Not bad, it's basically a Magical Meltdown, or a Trickstar Light Stage, so that's good, I like that. Second effect, first time each normal monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect each turn except tokens it is not destroyed. So, protection for all normal monsters? Nice, I'm fine with that. And third effect, during your main phase you can add 1 Magikey Meta Teeth from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Are you joking me? What? Wait. This card not only has an effect that says, oh, I'm gonna add any Magikey monster from my deck. Sick. But also has the effect that says I get to add the fusion / ritual spell? Huh? What? That's busted! That's actually busted! No, this is 2 searches in 1 ritual spell. Konami, what are you doing? Konami have made a card that says I searched twice. I searched twice. What? And place a card from my hand on the bottom of the deck. What do I care if I place a card on the bottom of the deck? I'm getting my whole engine with 1 card. What? Konami, what are you doing? Okay. I'm liking this. The gun can talk. The gun can talk, apparently. Okay. Okay, the boy there is getting talked up by the gun. Connected Magikey. Normal trap card. Target 1 normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and apply 1 of these effects. Fusion summon 1 Magikey fusion monster from your X deck in defense position using monsters from your hand or field of fusion material. Ritual summon 1 Magikey ritual monster from your hand in defense position, but by tributing monsters from your hand or field, whose total level exceeds or equals the ritual monster. Okay, so this is basically just a trap card that says recycle normal monster, then ritual summon or fusion summon. Alright, and the gun is mad because he's recycling and stuff, so intriguing. And it's got a counter spell because in this day and age, what deck doesn't have a counter spell? And it's called Magikey Lock Unlock. Okay, so it's unlocking and locking at the same time. Cool. You can only activate one card of this card's name per turn, and when your opponent activates a spell card / trap card, while you control a Magikey ritual monster or fusion or Magikey monster special summon from the extra deck, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can declare one attribute, and if you do, all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls become the declared attribute until the end of this turn. Right, I'm going to say why this card is good right now. First, it's a counter trap, so your opponent can't chain to it. Second, it says I can go ahead and change my opponent's entire board's attribute. Like, what? Like, okay, you get to just go ahead, look at your opponent, say, yeah, I've not only negated your spell or trap card, but I've negated your attribute. So now, if I have this on board, and I have the dark attribute in graveyard, which is most likely going to be in graveyard because it's the normal monster, I can just go ahead and wipe your board because I turned everything dark. Oh, I turned everything dark, so now I've got this on board, and this card says I get to go ahead and negate the activation of any more dark monster. So, yeah, cool. What, Konami? Are you telling me? Are you telling me that you have made a card, a literal card, that says I negate things and I change everything? Everything. Like, that's actually insane. That's really, really cool for me. I really like that. But final thoughts on the archetype? Seeing as we've read every card, I'm gonna be honest, the archetype is very, very interesting. I think it's missing synchro monsters, because obviously this is a synchro based set, it's coming out in the Sync Stardust set, it's not got any synchro monsters when the main monsters, when the level 4s are all tuna monsters. Like, if I'm ritual summoning a tuna monster or a fusion summoning a tuna monster, I expect it to be synchro monsters, but I feel like the archetype is interesting. The only thing I think is kind of weird is how it's locked by restrictions, behind restrictions such as this effect. I get why it's got so many restrictions, because that's kind of like the archetype's theme, where you need to have the monster in the graveyard with the same attribute as the opponent, and to get the big one effects, you need to be able to have made that card with 2 different attributes. I understand that, but I feel like it's a little weird and a very big restriction. But nonetheless, I feel like the deck is very interesting, because like you got this guy, the main protagonist in this whole archetype, Sora. I'm just gonna say he's Sora for now. He's riding a beast because he's got a gun that's a key apparently, and this one just says, oh, I can go ahead and change your monster to defense position, and go ahead and say it loses 1,000 defense, or with this, I can just Magikey all monsters with the attribute that I declare. Or, like, this is a ritual and a fusion spell in one card. Still wish it was a ritual spell, because then I could normal summon Manju, as I said, and then just go into there. But, like, this deck has so many broken cards. And this field spell is absolutely insane. Like, how has Konami made a card that says, I not only search a monster from my deck, I not only give some protection to normal monsters, but I also get to get an additional search on top of all of that? So I search, I protect, and then I search again. And it's just like, what? It's absolutely insane to me. But guys, like, honestly, I'm just reading all these cards. Like, this is an interesting trap card as well. Just having the ability to recycle and instantly fusion or ritual summon is really, really nice. And it's just a very interesting archetype, which I think has a lot of potential. Potentially because depending on what the deck gets, depending on what cards the deck will get, maybe the beasts that he's riding will become like maybe chibi versions of themselves, and he'll be awakening those beasts with his gun as the key, that as it states here, and he'll be using these machines that he's making as well, that he kind of like shrinks, or because of that, actually looks like the gun is transforming into these big things. Now that I think about it, because the little gun over here looks a lot like this one, where it's just transformed into a lot bigger version. But it's a very interesting archetype, and I feel like it does have a lot of potential, and apparently 2 keys and 1 door is all you need to be able to gain all the potential and all this power that is within you. But guys, tell me what your thoughts are though on this archetype. Tell me what you're thinking of it. I feel like it's a really interesting archetype. I think it has a lot of potential for what it is and what it has got in it already. I feel like it needs a few more cards just to become absolutely busted. Like the field spell is already insane, and I feel like that's really good, and the ritual / fusion spell is really good as well, being a Shadow Execution based card, and I feel like it's got a lot of potential in it. And there's a lot of cards you can actually use with this deck as well, such as Unexpected Die to summon from the deck. You can also use the spell card that allows you to search normal monsters from the deck by sending one to the graveyard. I forgot the name name of the card. It's like unexpected. It's got the Ojamas on it swimming in the ocean against the shark. I cannot remember the name. It's something. It's a spell card that searches normal monsters though, and you can use quite a few things with this deck, and I'm probably going to be testing this. I will probably test this because it is a really cool looking archetype. But anyway, enough of me rambling on, guys. Tell me what your thoughts are on this deck in the comments section below. Did you think it's a good deck? Do you think it's got a lot of interesting support? Do you think it's got a lot of potential? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it in the comment section below, because this deck definitely, in my eyes, is something worth looking at, something worth testing and seeing how good it will become. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one, and me and Charmander are signing out.